All right, guys, what's up? We got a trade review for today. It's Monday, August 3rd, so it's the first trading day of the new month. Um, we're in month 8 of 12. So let's see how August goes. I mean, starting off, it's not too bad. We do have a little bit of chop this morning, but overall, we had strong draws on liquidity. And yeah, I mean, from there on, I guess we'll start reviewing the trade. Um, So here we start on the daily. That's always the first thing I look at in the morning, just to kind of see what's going on. But here on the daily, a couple things we noted. So we noted the suspension block we had. I think we used this on Friday. I think it was Friday's trade. We had the suspension block used as well, and as you guys can see, we're still tapping into it. So that was the first draw on liquidity. We have new week opening gap, but here on the daily, the daily didn't close yet, so we're still waiting for that to happen. But that's pretty much what we noted. I kind of want to see a fill of the 50% level of this suspension block in the daily time frame. And again, this is just me grading it out, and then you guys will see what these lines are there for. Are there? You guys will see it later. So again, suspension block, grading it out. We have the octants. This is all the octants for the suspension block. Then we go down to the 4 hour. Then again here, not too much on the 4 hour. We still have these relative equal highs. This is the long-term draw as well as this high up here. We have this high here at 29,354. That can also be a draw, but then again, that is above the suspension block on the daily. But we see here, I have marked out a few highs on the 4 hour. This high up here and this one up here. These are relative equal highs. I just marked two separate ones, as you know, we can have the first draw here and then the second draw here, as we might bounce off this one, the first one, and then come lower. But yeah, on the 4 hour, first thing we noted was the huge divergence on S&P and ES. So kind of was telling me like, maybe we shouldn't. It's gonna be a low probability day, but we did end up taking a trade. We did end up taking a couple trades today. But yeah, here's that new week opening gap in the 4 hour. This is the 15-minute, but or the one I have marked out now is the 15-minute. But we do have this one on the 4 hour. Delete that so you guys can see a little better. So here's that one on the 4 hour, right? This is basically this volume imbalance in here. We did come and fill the entire on the 4 hour, and then before we continued higher, right? So let me put that back. Then we go down to the 1 hour time frame. Same thing here, right? We noted the new week opening gap. We still have that suspension block, and then you can see the highs more clearly here. Here's that new week opening gap. It's a little better. The 15 minutes still a little larger. And then obviously nothing much to know. We did have this change in state of delivery here on the 1 hour, which we did close at 9 a.m. this morning. And then we have this one going on now, which is going to close in about 18 minutes. So we did close above this change in state of delivery, tap of that before we continued higher. So that was kind of my first idea to enter long. And then we go down to the 15-minute time frame here. It's going to be a quick one, just reviewing quickly. There's not much else to review today. But yeah, then again, we have this high put in here. We have this high put in here. This is my first draw on liquidity. External, or larger one, more significant. And then we had this one in here. And again, still within that suspension block, this one in here. I'm pretty sure this was the one that we put in on Friday before we took that short, so that was also something I was interested in. And then, yeah, so those are the highs. We did have this high in here. You guys will see a little better on the 1 minute time frame. Price 28,546, just about. But yeah, on the 15-minute, not much. Just sweep of this little low in here before we continued higher, and then fill the rest of the new week opening gap. And then this blue line is just the new week opening gap in the 1 minute time frame. So we did almost fill the entire on the 1 minute, and then this is my draw of sell side liquidity as well as this one, but I didn't mark this one out. But we didn't end up taking those. We just took basically the entire of the new week opening gap on the 1 minute time frame before continuing higher. And obviously larger draws on liquidity were here and here, and then the suspension block as well, which we are trading into right now, so that is pretty nice. But let's move on down to the 1 minute. This is where things get a little better. We have more to talk about on here in the 1 minute time frame. So when I zoom out here, you guys can see those highs more clearly. This is my draw on these highs. We did have a lot of low resistance liquidity, and I kind of just targeted this one. Why did I target this one here? It was at this octant level of the new week opening gap. So it was around the 125 level, which was that price 28,554. I put my stop or my TP just below that low. This was like a point below the low. So that's why I chose this high here. It's just at the octant level. We could have targeted this high in here. As you guys can see, we would have hit TP, and then obviously the larger ones in here, right on the 1 minute. And then we have the other one that we were showing in the 15 minute. And then obviously the suspension block on the daily. So just because of the chop, I did want to hold to the suspension block, but I just chose to get out early because of this chop. I kind of wanted, an explosive move, which we did have, but then we kind of chopped around in here, and then that was kind of telling me, as well as the divergence on the SMT, sorry, not on the SMT, on MES, it was kind of just telling me, let's get out early. Just take the profits where we can. But we did catch a nice move in here, 470. This is 100 and some points, I think it was. Maybe a little, I think it was 70 points. Yeah, 70 points-ish, just about. And then we had 2-to-1, just about as well, risk to reward ratio. So here in the the lower time frame, we did have these relative equal highs in here. Or not relative, they were relative after we created this, but we had this little high in here, which we did sweep. Then we came lower. I wanted to take these relative equal lows. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. If you guys want to count this one as well, that could be 5. But I just wanted to see us wick below these, and then before we continue higher. But as you guys can see, we kind of, closed below it, had to break a structure, and then continue lower to fill, or attempt to fill the rest of the new week opening gap, but we did not do that, unfortunately. But still, this was enough for me to kind of give me the idea to go long. So we had the manipulation leg. We had the accumulation first, right? And then we had the manipulation, and then we had the distribution higher. So that was the first kind of thing I noted on the day. So we have the AMD, again, accumulation kind of is essentially consolidation. Manipulation is that first leg to take out those first orders, and then we go the opposite way for the distribution there. So one thing I noted here is sweep of this low, and then again, close to filling that new week opening gap on the 1 minute time frame. And then along with the AMD, that's kind of telling me, we're going to target these highs. And as well as we had these drawn liquidities higher, which were very strong in my opinion. As you guys can see, the blue lines, that's what they are. This white was the 15 minute new week opening gap, just to restate that again. Then in here, we had nice displacement higher. We did inverse this first presented gap on the 1 minute time frame. So I did want to enter, but as you guys can see, this candle was, I don't know, what was it? A 70-point candle. I think I'm doing the math right. It was about a 70-point candle. So I just didn't want to risk too much on this trade. And as you guys can see, we did come down heavy into this fair value gap. And this change in state of delivery or order block as well. So we did enter here. We could have entered here in the first leg. Stop could have been here. And then again, TP would have never got hit unless we put it at these highs here. Then we had this other gap that was pre-market. We did inverse this gap as well. So you guys could have entered there as well. Just a little bit larger on drawdown and a stop as well. So those are the first two entries you guys could have had on the day. And now we're going to remove. So just remember this blue line is about that octant level of the 0.125 of the fair value gap. So let's remember that. We're going to delete this so we can see it a little more clearly. So now we go to the trade we actually took. So here we go. We have this, let me delete this so you guys can see this more clearly as well. Okay, so we did have this fair value gap in here. Let me note this. So we did have this fair value gap in here today, as well as the inversion. So I guess we can leave the inversion back up there as well. This is larger somewhere else. It was this fair value gap. There we go. Sorry, it's taking me a little too long to set these up. I want this one. There we go. Okay, so we had this fair value gap in here. It's very difficult to see this fair value gap, so we'll zoom in a little more. It's gonna be this one in here, right? So we used the volume imbalance. We were gonna have a suspension block. We did come down lower while I was watching price live, but I did note this fair value gap in here. This was my entry, as well as we had this inversion gap. Was there a suspension block? What was the close of this? 436.5. The open 436.25. So we did have a little bit of a volume imbalance. So this was the inversion fair value gap as well, and then this was the normal fair value gap that we never inversed. So we just had a tap of this. I set my limit just about, well, actually I didn't set my limit. I wanted to enter here on this inversion here of the tap of the inversion as well as the tap of the fair value gap, but we did end up getting in a little late, just right up around right there, and then we put our stop just below that fair value gap here at 944, so this purple box, and then we set TP just below that high, just around there. So this is a rough, this is not exactly what it was, but that's kind of what the trade looked like. So we had this tap in this fair value gap. This was also around a key octant level, that's why I chose this fair value gap as well. And then we did have the inversion gap, as you guys can see here, with this orange box in here. So we had that tap. We were in a little bit of drawdown today, but we had nice displacement up above that fair value gap. Then we came down again, bodies respecting that 50% level, as we failed to even close. I think it was close to the 25%. We did close below the 25%, but we did not close below the 50%, which was nice. And then we had nice strong move up, but again, this chop was kind of, I don't want to say it was scaring me, but it was kind of telling me it was low probability, so I ended up taking profits here at this high. So entry was just about, say right about there, stop below that fair value gap, and then TP just below that high. So this is a rough estimate of what the trade looked like, right? We had 2.2 ratios, so let's say it was right about there. So yeah, we had the tap of the fair value gap, tap of the inversion gap, and then we had the drawn liquidity higher, and then we had put in these two relatively equal highs as well. So you guys could have targeted these highs here, or you could have targeted the ones I targeted. It's what, a couple 10 points difference. But overall, not a bad trade today. Kind of just chopping, low probability is kind of what it made it seem to me. But yeah, just the draw and liquidities were very strong, so I had to enter on this trade. We were close to stop, which was okay, right? We're not going to be right 100% of the time, but as long as we're right, you know, majority of the time, then it's okay. Or if we're keeping our risk to reward high, then it's okay as well. So this was the trade of the day. I know I said it 10 times, so I'm not going to say it again why I entered 10 times, or why I entered because I said it 10 times. But yeah, overall it was a decent trading day. Draws and liquidity were very nice, and I mean, I don't have much else for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and then I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow.